this a little bit so that we can see our engine a bit better here at the top. And let's get rolling. So Charlie begins with the move e4, and Hikaru responds with e6. Now e6 is leading obviously to potentially a French defense. We will see what Hikaru has in mind. Knight c3 from Charlie. And actually, I taught Charlie a couple of days ago to play the advanced variation, but knight c3 is fine, d5, and now take, and he puts a pawn in the center. So first things first, if you're going to play the exchange variation of the French defense, just an instructive moment, you don't want your knight in front of your c-pawn, because the knight on this square does not exert true pressure here, since the queen is actually defending. In a lot of French positions, you at least have two pawns in the center and you're not taking, or you are waiting to put the c-pawn up. So that's lesson number one. But then Charlie just develops naturally. You'll notice that Hikaru plays this to repel the knight from coming forward. Charlie plays bishop e3, good move. Knight e7 from Hikaru, a little bit different, not looking for knight f6, trying to create some imbalance. Bishop e2, and now rather than castling, Hikaru immediately punishes Charlie's early bishop move, I should say, with the move knight to f5. Charlie moves his bishop again to target the knight. At this point, you know, it's better to get castled, so you either castle or move your bishop out of the way. Defending your bishop is also an option. But it's a 3-minute game, so obviously you don't need to spend a whole lot of time. And actually, Hikaru just castles himself, castles, put his rook into the middle of the board saying, look man, you can take my knight. I'm fine with this trade. So both players playing well, and now Hikaru plays a move which actually makes sense, but for some reason the computer is trying to tell me, you know, this move is a bit of an inaccuracy. And you see White's advantage start to creep up a little bit. So f6 tries to repel these two, you know, squares from Charlie's knight. Charlie plays the move g4. So g4, as you can see from the evaluation bar, completely tanks the position into Black's favor. Why? Because this pawn, while it attacks a knight, the knight can take the bishop, and then this bishop is now open to see this pawn. So of course you don't want to push pawns where your king is castled, right? So at this point, the computer wants you to back up with the bishop. I would just say keep making progress, get the queen out, maybe stack the rooks on this file, etc. But it's true, Hikaru's knight is extremely annoying. White's problems really begin with the knight on c3. If the knight can rotate around this way, maybe trade, it would be better, but Hikaru immediately punishes Charlie for his misdeeds. But then Charlie attacks the center. This is a very nice pawn break. It opens up the board, but Hikaru's Hikaru. So he anticipates this, and now plays rook takes e1. Now if Charlie takes with the knight, he's going to lose his queen, and if he takes with the queen, he's going to lose his knight. Except, in this position...
Let's see if he can find a check and come back into the game, though. I'm not going to just, like... Okay, he misses a golden opportunity there. Let's go here. Yeah, he had queen e6 check to hit the king and the bishop.
There is queen to e6, a concept called continuity. The bishop on g4, even though it just took a knight, used to cover the e6 square. And this is why in all positions you must scan for even the possibility of a check, of an attack on the king. White has two of them, and one of them is obviously better than the other. Queen e6 would just pick up the bishop. Charlie takes on c6, though, misses the check. Hikaru plays knight b6, and queen e6 is still available. And look at this. In this position, if you give a check, the king goes to the corner. You then have queen h3 with an attack of mate, and queen takes bishop. Crazy that Charlie had this resource. Charlie, though, playing c takes b7, and now Hikaru brings back the bishop, and Charlie offers a trade. Takes, Hikaru brings out his rook. Of course, still Charlie should look for a way to improve his position. I would say bring the rook to the middle and don't even think about it. Okay, knight to e2 is played. Bishop b8. The point of bishop b8 is to play queen to d6, and you'll notice the time discrepancy now is obviously creeping in Black's favor. Charlie goes for c4. This can be taken a couple of different ways, but of course, I mean, he's trying to get back into the game playing quickly. Hikaru plays queen d6 and allows this fork, but he's got queen takes h2, king f1, queen h3, king moves over, and queen to d7. Apparently now, after king to d2, Charlie's actually, you know, making a couple of things happen here. Like, if Hikaru hadn't been accurate for this one move, you know, for example, if Hikaru plays a6, then after rook to h1, it's not really so clear what's happening, because it's a very dangerous position for Black. It's never too late to screw something up, so Hikaru plays rook to d8. Look at that move. Very sneaky threat there on the king, and after Charlie pushes, he misses the idea, right, moving the knight out of the way with the rook now seeing this. But Charlie doesn't give up, man. He goes queen to e7.
That's a good move. That's not a bad move. That's a good check.
fighting spirit in this man, attacking the rook, making Hikaru work. Knight c4 check using the concept of danger levels. The king is worth more than the rook, making the king move, jumping in again with the knight, repeats once, and then goes, wait a second, I gotta get my rook out of here, I gotta attack this pawn, and from a distance my queen is defending. You'll notice it's a 3-minute game, and black is up 1 minute on the clock, so that's obviously quite nice. Charlie continues with d5. Hikaru goes knight to e3, the king slides back, knight takes d5, and here, tragedy strikes.
Can I take? It should just be winning for me. So all the squares are covered, no queen 6, no queen 7. Oops.
Rook to c1 played by Mr. Moist Critical, and then knight takes e7, the queen falls. So, a tragic ending, unfortunately, to this one. But, well, there was a couple of instructive moments. Number one, as we go back, to the opening, you see a French defense. Knight c3 is good, but personally, I think that it's subpar to take on d5.